guys, Jamy Catalyst here with a review for the Triple S League. This is the Observer Review. Observer is a cyberpunk horror game developed by Bloober team and published by Aspyr. If those names sound familiar, which I probably just butchered them, it's because those were the same guys behind Layers of Fear. Observer is an intense indie adventure horror game with mentions of violence and gore. It will be released August 15th, 2017. It runs about 6+ hours depending on your playstyle, and will probably be on sale for the same amount of money as Layers of Fear, which is $20 US. Anybody remember those movies Alien and Blade Runner? Yes, no, maybe? Well, in those movies, they had what they thought at the time was future technology. But due to when the movies are made, they had certain restrictions. So they had literally high-tech, old tech. That's what this game has too, which is what Cyberpunk is. It feels so much like Blade Runner, I thought I was playing a terrifying game version of that movie. But if you hold any nostalgia for those movies like I do, you will love the aesthetics and atmosphere of this game. And oh boy, is the atmosphere gripping. It grips you so damn hard, it breaks your brain. But more of that later. The game calls itself horror, and at first it feels like maybe it'll just turn out to be suspense. Slow, calm start, right? Well, I hope you're holding onto your seat, because it may start slow, but holy crap, does it turn into one wild, horrifying ride. The music, the sound effects, the areas, it all comes together so perfectly. The music sets the tone and fits the setting and atmosphere like a glove. So do the sound effects, which keep you immersed in this amazing and scary world. This game is cyberpunk, psychological horror, done beautifully. A large portion of gameplay comes into effect when the player character Daniel sets up a crime scene. You have two different scanners in your eyes, or he does. Organic and technological. You scan different objects and put together clues to figure out what's happened to the different victims. It works pretty well, and doing the different scans and reading off info so you can piece together information is pretty interesting. There's also the moments when you literally get to go inside people's minds. That's when shit hits the fan and the world goes upside down. I think the way they wrote and created these miniature worlds that are these people's subconscious is amazing. And since when old Danny starts to feel stressed, the screen, which is practically you looking through his eyes, glitches out, you'll realize not only is Danny questioning what's real and what's not, but so are you. There are a few puzzles in the game, but only a handful, and they're not hard at all. Really, I think the developers mainly concentrated on the suspense and the mystery. The only thing I don't like gameplay-wise is the forced sneaking portions. There will be moments where a nemesis-like enemy is scouting around and you have to make sure he doesn't spot you. It does make you get on the edge of your seat, which you never really leave, but it was just a bit frustrating to me. The controls work great. I only had this one tiny issue with the crouch and Danny Boy kinda shaking a bit, but I did play a beta version, so that bug might be gone by now. Otherwise, the controls were smooth, and it works amazingly well with a controller. When you walk normally, Daniel will move at a slower pace, but I believe he does that to ramp up suspense during certain parts where you can't sprint. But yes, normally he can sprint, and at a good quick pace that feels natural. Just like in Layers of Fear, the controls for interfacing with objects work great. I always love controls that have you pull back on the stick to open things, almost like you're opening them with your own hand. This game runs beautifully. Everything is so detailed and vibrant. The lighting is perfect and adds to the atmosphere. All the areas are so different and so creative and interesting. Put those together with these impressive graphics and it feels like a whole new world. The voice acting is top notch. I mean, it's seriously good. Each voice actor portrays emotions beautifully, and each voice feels very fitting to the characters. And I want to take one moment to talk about level design. You never really leave the one area, the apartments you start in, but oh my god, do you barely stay there at the same time. There are some incredibly unique and amazingly designed areas in this game. Many of them are absolutely stunning, and incredibly deep and interesting. The designers and artists of this game deserve a goddamn pat on the back. Plot-wise, this game is straightforward and yet very, very complicated at the same time. I'm not going to spoil anything, so I'll keep it as simple as possible. You play as Daniel Lazarski, who is a detective for the police. He's also a cyborg capable of diving into people's brains. Yep, I'm sure that doesn't mess you up over time. In the crazy world he lives in, technology reigns supreme, and those who control the tech control everything. His son is missing, and one day when he gets a message from his son, he chases it. That leads him to an apartment building where apparently some crazy shit has gone down. So he puts his detective cap on and tries to solve the case. But nothing is as it seems, and the farther down the rabbit hole he goes, the more insane you and he become. What's even real anymore? So to summarize, while Observer starts off slow, it picks up and takes off. It's not only a wild ride, but a feast for the eyes and a mystery to solve. Although most of the time I wouldn't say it's scary, it has its moments where it's downright terrifying. Most of the time though, it's a gripping suspense thriller that satisfies in the best of ways. Keep in mind, I loved Layers of Fear, and Observer, in my opinion, is so much better. If you love Blade Runner, or horror, or suspense thrillers, or mystery, I highly recommend this game.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This review was written and recorded by Jamy Catalyst. She's got indie games, horror games, dating sims, and tons of others up on her YouTube channel. She's nuts, and we love her here at the Triple S League. And here's some more stuff you might like.